So today we are going to go over some best practices inside the new Epic administrative account that you purchased from discprofile.com. It's more Catalyst focused. There's some cool tips and tricks as a Catalyst administrator that you can utilize to help you either get people into Catalyst or take full advantage of your new administrative account. So we'll dive into some of that. I'll give you a quick introduction, who we are, and then we're going to take a look inside the admin account. We're going to go over the home page a little bit, and then we'll dive into those drop downs, give you some areas that are most commonly used, and then I'll show some areas on discprofile.com to help you either in different facilitation or future purchasing. If you did purchase your admin account from discprofile.com, it's likely that you got an email from us that would have come from orders@discprofile.com. That is going to have your login information and some links to help get you started. A lot of those links are going to be similar to the content that we're going to go over today. So you can either bookmark those links, bookmark this video, and then you'll be able to reference those as you go. If you do want to follow along during that intro piece, go ahead and take a look through your email and see if you can find your login information. And then that website to pull up the Epic administrative account is also on the screen as well. So that way, hopefully, if you wanted to follow along, open up a new screen and we can kind of go through some different areas. We can do all of that together. So just a quick introduction. My name is Amy and I am with discprofile.com. The customer support team that I work with is going to be Kendall, Kristen, and Natalie. Likely if you give us a call or send us an email, you're going to talk to one of the four of us. If you did purchase your Epic administrative account from discprofile.com, that does mean that we are your authorized partner and that going forward, all of your future purchases will go through us and that we're going to be that customer support team for you. If your participants come back with any questions or something that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you in your admin account, or you just need a little bit of assistance, that's where we come in. So we're happy to help you on any of that. I will put up our contact information at the very end, so you can go ahead and grab that at the very end. But we are all very, very happy to help you out whenever you need. So we'll take a look at the home page. There's a direct link to purchase Epic credits that will take you over to discprofile.com where you can grab those credits to replenish your account. It's always going to have our contact information on there as well. We do have a cool piece on the what's new, kind of what's going on with Wiley, who's the publishing company, what's going on with us at Disc Profile, what's going on with the Everything Disc products, all of that stuff. We like to kind of keep you guys updated with what's going on in that world. You can customize your homepage a little bit. You are able to see those pending and completed reports at a glance from your homepage as well. So diving straight into this admin account, when you log in, you're typically going to see a page that looks very similar to this. It is going to have your account username up top. It's going to have your credit balance, and then there is a timeout up top. The timeout is going to let you know that if you walk away from this page for that amount of time, Epic will log you out. It will not save where you are in process, so keep that in mind. If you're going to log in to send out an access code or something like that, make sure that you kind of have your stuff ready to go so that way you don't get timed out and have to start the process over again. As I mentioned, there is that direct link to our website, discprofile.com. That will take you over to where you can purchase Epic credits. Right above that is going to be our contact information and our business hours. And then we do have that What's New tab. We're always going to put some information if we are going to be away from the phones. And then we also do like to include any additional information in this message from discprofile.com. If we have any cool promos, or like there is going to be a price increase come July 1 of 24. We also put some additional information in here, cool things that we're doing or that Wiley is doing. Like I said, you are able to customize your homepage a little bit, so you can move these around and swap places with them. You can change your blue button options up here if you would like to do that. You are able to also, at a glance, see your participants. This piece right here will change as we go through this demonstration, because you'll be able to see codes that are queued up to be sent out. When you're looking at this, you can go back a couple months. You can go back and see all of that information at a glance. You do get an opportunity to see pending codes, date emailed, or completed. There's two options for the status. There's pending and there's completed. Even if they're in process of completing the profile, it's going to say pending until it is done. If the link has been sent to them, if the link has been queued but not sent, it's always going to stay pending until they click in and fully complete their questionnaire. And then you are able to also resend that login information from that home screen. Manage reports is probably going to be the most common dropdown that you're going to live in. It's where you're going to be able to send out those links for your participants to complete their report. You, as the administrator, can create group reports inside your admin account. You can view those completed reports in the form of a PDF. You can add those additional applications as you want to grow and give your participants additional learning modules. You can edit those organizations where people are living in the Catalyst world. And then you can also do some batch reporting to download large lump sums of reports. So that way you don't have to go in and do onesie twosies. That Manage Reports dropdown is going to be up here underneath that Epic logo in the top left. And so we'll go ahead and kick off. We'll just start in that Create New Report / Issue Access Code section. We are going to have our product family selected as Everything Disk. We're going to select our product is going to be Catalyst Everything Disk. This is that individual report for your participant. And then English is going to automatically generate for you. We'll go ahead and click on that blue button Next, and it's going to bring up an opportunity for us to type in an organization. Organizations are where your participants live, where they will also be able to see their colleagues that are in this same organization. So if I start typing, and I can see that there's a few diskprofile.com organizations already. If I did not want to add new people to existing organizations, maybe I wanted to create a new location or something like that, I can absolutely add my organization, and it will bring up a pop-up where I can enter in the name, I can enter in the location and do a logo if I would like to, and then I would just click add, and it would allow me to then going forward add people to this organization. For this example, I am going to select a pre-existing organization. Anybody that I send a code to in this transaction piece is going to be included in that organization. Because I'm selecting an existing one, it's likely that there are other people in that organization as well. So keep that in mind when you're selecting, making sure that you're grabbing the one that you want based off a location and logo. We'll go ahead and click that blue button Next. And then it is going to let me know what it is that I'm doing. So I'm doing the Catalyst Everything Disk. I'm going to do it in English. And as of right now, it's going to cost me 15 credits to send a new participant their link. When I get into selecting the applications, this is those learning modules on what you are giving your participant access to on the Catalyst platform. They will answer questions on all of the learning modules that are available, Workplace Management and Agile EQ, so that later on down the road, they don't have to answer additional questions. They just are going to get prompted to visit Catalyst again and see the learning modules that they have access to. It's best practice in the beginning to just give everybody access to Workplace on Catalyst and then take advantage of kind of a return and learn feature and maybe give your management team management on Catalyst, or maybe you have a group that needs a little bit more reassurance in the DISC world and you want to give them Agile EQ, that emotional intelligence. They do cost additional credits to do this. You can add these at a later date. That's that return and learn concept. But if you wanted to give everybody access to everything right out the gate, you can absolutely do so. Completely up to you. Just know that your participants answer all of the questions right away, and then you can trickle in the additional information if you wanted. So when I like what I have here, I'll go ahead and click on this blue button option Next. And then I get an opportunity to kind of organize inside my own Epic account. We already did the organization, but there's a way that I can, as an administrator, have things a little bit more set up on the back end. So I do know who has been sent codes, where they're at, that type of stuff. What the folder system in this process will do is, as I'm searching, there's different search criteria that you can search by. And if you search by folders, it might make it a little bit easier to track down who you have and have not sent codes to. So if we did Catalyst Group A and then I wanted to do a subfolder, I could do that. I can create a subfolder and you're just typing whatever name you see here. If I don't like this folder, I can create a new one. Folders are optional, but they do help out a lot. So we'll go ahead and put everybody here in Catalyst Group A, and then we're going to do this for June. And then as I come back, I know that all of these people were sent codes in June. Delivery and auto reminder options. This is for the participants to get their links and get reminders. The deliver email is for that initial email. When do you want them to receive their link? If the option is immediately, right when you get done with this process, they're going to receive a link in their email, go ahead and leave that as immediately. If you did want to kind of predate this, you absolutely can. You click on the on this date bubble. It does bring up a date and time for Epic to send out the access codes for you. You can absolutely date this for the same day, just a little bit later in the afternoon or something like that. That way you have time to go into your own email and send out some form of communication, letting them know that maybe they are going to be getting a link, and now you know exactly what date and time that's going to happen. The send reminder, if we were to click on if not completed by, I recommend doing this piece. Even if you deliver the emails, their initial emails immediately, I'm going to recommend that you do set up the send reminder option. This is a way to have Epic do a lot of work for you. That way you don't have to come in and track people down and make sure that they've completed. Epic will do that essentially for you without you having to prompt anything. So if you click on this, if not completed by, it brings up another date and time. And I recommend having Epic send a reminder email maybe 2 days before your deadline, before you want everybody to complete. Not before your session, but before you want everybody to complete. And then you also do have an opportunity to set up a reminder subject. This is what appears in the subject line of the email that they're going to receive. So you can put a little bit of urgency in here if you would like to. So it's going to fill in my respondent name, and I'm going to be able to have Epic be a little bit more forceful and say that they need to complete the DISC assessment by the end of the day. And then it's just going to resend them the initial information that you sent with their original link. This is only going to go to people who have not completed. It does not go to the full list. It just goes to those people who haven't completed by the date and time that you specify above. When we get down into the add respondent section, you're going to have two options. You're going to either enter an individual. This is if you got a small group, you just want to type in their email and their name one at a time. You can absolutely do that. So we'll go ahead and enter in our email. Once you have the email, the name, quantity is 1. View report is for the participant. They will be able to see their completed reports once they finish. I'll go ahead and click on this add button here. We'll notice that that information drops down, leaving the email and name option blank again for you to be able to enter in your next person. Like I said, this is really common for just kind of the onesie twosie people, and you're able to just put in a couple people if that's what you got going on. If you are in a situation where you have quite a few people and you are following along, go ahead and download this import template here. What the import template will do is allow you to kind of keep a running tally of people that you're sending this out to. You can save this multiple times over. You can use this as kind of a storage piece to have all of your participants on a list. You will just need their email, their name, and then that view report section is going to always be set to 1, which is yes. Just don't alter any of these columns. You're just inputting some information. There is some information and instructions off to the right here. You can form their names any way that makes sense to you, and then you'll just need their email as well. Once you got your entire list, save this to your computer, and then once you're done, you'll go ahead and click this upload link here, and you'll be able to have Epic and that Excel document communicate, and it's going to pull everybody in. Once you have your entire list of people over here, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and confirm that the individuals are a part of the organization that you picked a little bit earlier, and then we'll go ahead and assign that access code. And it's going to tell you how many credits will be deducted from your account. Remember, we only picked just the workplace application, so it's just that 15 credits for them to be able to receive that link for the one person that we're going to send to. We'll go ahead and click OK. And then that second prompt that you're going to get is going to ask if you would like to create a custom message. I'm going to recommend that you do this if your participants do not know that the link is coming, or maybe it's been a minute since you talked about doing disc. If you very recently, like within the last couple days, mentioned it to them, you can cancel the bypass, but it never hurts to put any sort of context with this email that's going to have a link in it for them. So I'll go ahead and click OK just so we can kind of show you what that looks like. And so when you click OK, it brings you to this area where you can enter in a message that is going to be in the same email as the link that you give to your participants. You can put whatever in here makes sense to you. I do have a template that we can pull from, and then I am able to kind of adjust this a little bit. A lot of times, especially with Catalyst, because they get access to their completed report, it's nice to give them some areas to dive into. You know, going in, especially if they just have access to Workplace, going into the what drives you, building better relationships, that discology section, letting them know kind of when they need to have it completed by. And then I always like to do a little button up and let you know who to reach out to, phone number, email, that type of stuff, like you would email signature. Just giving them an opportunity to understand what's happening and why they're getting this link, so they don't delete it or think that it's junk or spam. And then once I'm ready, I like this information, I'll go ahead and click OK. And then it's going to tell me that the action that I've requested has been completed. It's going to let me know what I did, when I'm going to send out those codes, and then who I sent it to. If there was a large list of people, this would be the full list. And then it's going to tell me how many credits I started with and how many credits I have now. If I'm looking at my participant list and everything else is the same, the organization that they're a part of, the folder, all of that stuff is the same. I'm looking at my list and I go, oh man, I left Todd off. I can go ahead and I can create another report, and it will just take me back to the spot where I can add more respondents. And then I can type in their name, email, and send it out. And they'll still be a part of this same setup that I have up above without having to start completely over. If I'm completely done, I'll go ahead and click on this Epic logo, and that's going to take me back home where I can start in on doing group reports or viewing completed reports, stuff like that. So to do a group report is an option inside your admin account. We are going to start out the same way: manage reports, create new report / issue access code. Again, we're going to do a product family of everything disc, and then our product, you should have access to these 4 reports. So starting at the bottom, the team view and the comparison report, those reports are free. You can create as many of those as you would like. A team view is really great for you as a facilitator. If you do have an opportunity to see your group visually, just where their dots are placed, helps you feel more comfortable before you walk into that group and talk to them. Comparison reports are one-on-one reports that you can run as an administrator. They do still have access to that inside the Catalyst platform with others inside their organization. But maybe as an administrator, you want to be able to create those. The facilitator report and the group culture report. These 2 reports do cost 25 credits each per group. You can have as many people in the group as you would like. The major difference between the 2 of them is that the group culture report will not show names. The facilitator report does show names where people are plotted. Most commonly, people are opting to do the facilitator report because it does show names, and if you're doing this kind of on a team building basis, the facilitator report is nice. You can provide this to the participants. It doesn't have to be just for the facilitator, and you don't have to run both, costing you 50 credits to do this. So we'll do a facilitator report just for this example, and we're going to do in English. And then again, that folder structure comes back into play. If I want this facilitator report to live in the same folder that I sent my initial participants their links in, I can do that. That way, when I'm searching for things, everybody lives in the same folder. Everything is kind of nice buttoned up. And we'll pretend that my large group of people did go ahead and actually come in and complete. I can give this report a name. This does appear on the cover of the report, so keep that in mind. If you are putting something on there, make sure that it makes sense to you and the participants that are going to be receiving it. And then you'll come in here and you'll click add, and it is going to allow you some search criteria where you can pull from any of the completed reports inside your admin account. When creating group reports, make sure that everybody that you want included has completed before you start this process. It's a little wonky to edit a group report. I'd hate for you to get in here and cost multiple 25 credits at a time to create different group reports because you were waiting on people to complete. So make sure that everybody's completed before you start creating your group reports. Once we hit search, it will pull up a lot of people that I can go ahead and check their names if I do want these people. And then we'll come down and we'll click on next. And then it's going to have an opportunity for me to review the people that I picked. If I realize that maybe I need an additional person or something, I can go back and add as many times as I want. If I wanted to select by folder, I could do that. If I wanted to search by folder and subfolder, I could do that as well. Keep in mind, more information in here, the fewer the results. So if you're looking for somebody, you know they're in here, you know they've completed, pull out some of your search criteria, go back to none selected if possible. Less is more in the search criteria area. So once you have everybody that you like, you'll go ahead and just quick review, and then we're going to go ahead and click next. It is going to tell you that 25 credits will be deducted from your account, same pop-up as before. And then we'll click OK. Epic is going to spin for just a minute, and then it's going to let me know that I did create that group report. When I click on this option for view report, it does bring up an opportunity for me to do a facilitator report, a poster, or both. Best practice is to pick both. There's never really been a time where I didn't really enjoy the poster along with the facilitator report, or a customer of ours didn't. The poster is nice. You can do multiple things with it. You can send it off to a print shop, have it enlarged, put it in the break room or something like that. That way, DISC just kind of stays familiar within your group. And then you have an opportunity to view, save, or email both of those. If we click on that Epic logo back up in the top left, it does bring us back home. And I've gotten a few emails letting me know that my participants have started to complete. So I can come in here under this Manage Reports, View, Print, Email, Completed Report section. And then I'm able to come in here and I can search by name. I can search by date range. I can do product family. I can do folders. I can even type in their email. Again, less is more in this section, so just kind of keep that in mind. If I just want to see everybody that's completed, I'm able to go ahead and hit search, and then it's going to pull up all of the reports. So group reports, comparison reports, it's going to pull up individual reports. All of that stuff is there for me. I only got about 14 profiles in here. It's still a pretty new account, but I'm able to see those completed reports. I just click select next to their name, and it pulls up an option for me to view, save, or email like we just saw with the group report. Under that Manage Reports section, we are going to go under this Catalyst Add Applications to Access Codes. You can search for both pending and completed if you wanted to do that, or you can fine tune that. You can go by the pending profiles. You'll notice that there's 3 red buttons here. These are going to be the buttons that need something entered in them. They're required fields. So we'll go ahead and hit search. This is going to be the person I need to add the applications to. I'll go ahead and check that box and hit next. And then I'm going to go ahead and check the ones that I want. It is going to be 10 credits per application to add this into somebody. So Amy's not a manager. She just needs access to the Agile EQ. We'll go ahead and hit next. And then it'll tell me how many credits will be deducted from my account. And I'll go ahead and click OK to continue. And then it's going to let me know that Amy now has access to Workplace, not management, but does have access to Agile EQ. And it's going to let you know that it's updated. If Amy had completed and had already been in Catalyst and taken over and looked at that Workplace learning module, the next steps is that Amy would have gotten an email that says that you now have access to Agile EQ on Catalyst, and you would go in and you would review that information. Because this access code status is pending, it means that when Amy does complete, that she's going to be able to go in and see Workplace and Agile EQ from the get-go. And then it's going to tell me what my previous credit balance was, the total credits charged, and my new credit balance. If I wanted to add additional applications, I could do that here, or I could go click on this Epic logo and go all the way back. The last couple spots inside the Manage Reports dropdown is going to be editing organizations and batch reporting. Both of those are going to fall under the batch functions. You are able to edit those organizations that you've created inside your admin account, and you're able to add reports to those. I can go ahead and start typing an organization in here. I can create my organizations. I can pick different organizations that are already created, and then I can add reports and move people around that live inside my admin account to those different organizations. It's an easier way, rather than going through the edit existing reports feature, to move people around an organization, especially if you're trying to do it on a large scale. And then that last option inside the Manage Reports is going to be the Generate Reports for download. So if there is ever a need for you to be able to download all of the PDFs of your participants, you would go Manage Reports. Under that batch functions, you'll click Generate Reports for download, and then you'll go ahead and you'll select the product family. You are going to have to do the product. Again, these buttons indicate that they are required fields, and then I'll just go ahead and I'll hit search because I want to grab all of my Catalyst profiles, and I will go ahead and I will hit select all down at the bottom. If I didn't want everybody, I can check those boxes next to their name. If I just for the people that I did want. Report content, you're going to check all because you want all of that stuff in there. And then what applications do you want to see the PDF completed on? And so you can check all of that. It does add additional information here, so you can come in and check all of that. And then you can view their report, the full PDF of that. You can view a supplement for facilitators. That's a 2 to 3 page extra. There's no cost to get that information. And it's just kind of how they scored and why they scored the way that they did. Or you can do both. If you wanted all of that information, selecting both is super beneficial. Keep in mind you will get 2 PDFs per person. Once I have my list the way that I like it, I'll go ahead and click next. It is going to show me the list of people that I have in here, and I'll go ahead and I will click Generate Batch. It is going to tell me how long it is going to take to generate this batch. The larger the group, the longer it takes to generate the batch. But don't worry, you can still navigate inside your admin account and do some things in there while Epic creates this batch in the background. If we'll go ahead and click OK to continue, it's going to tell me who's going to get an email notification when that batch is done. I'll show you what that looks like when we get that email notification. You'll go ahead and we'll just go back to our home screen. We're still going to navigate and move around in Epic while that's working. And then once that batch report is ready, I'll show you how to download that. So the next drop down, moving over one, is going to be the Manager Account drop down. This is where you can unassign access codes. Maybe somebody is no longer a part of the program or left the company, whatever it may be. As long as they haven't completed, you are able to pull those codes back and get those credits. And then there's a folder maintenance section, managing your organizations, similar to Edit, but it does have some different functionality. You can manage users, adding additional administrators to help you out in this admin account. And then some different activity reports may be helpful during like year-end reviews and stuff like that, trying to figure out who you've set codes to, who's done what in there, and all of that good stuff. So we'll take a look inside that Manage Your Account drop-down section. So like I said, it's going to be the second one over. And the second option in this dropdown is to unassign access codes. Now, this only works for pending codes. So as soon as the participant is fully completed with their profile, you can no longer get those credits back. Keep that in mind. So the access code status is going to stay as pending. It's going to default to check for the Everything Disk Catalyst. And then I'll go ahead and I'll hit search. I only have that one pending code because that's the one that we just sent out here just a little bit ago. Maybe Amy doesn't need to be a part of the program, or maybe I realized that she has a profile already that I just wanted to use that existing one. I got mixed up in my process. It happens. It's not a big deal. But Amy hasn't clicked in. There's no completed date here. So I can go ahead and I'll click next. And then I am going to get those 25 credits back. Remember that we added that additional application to this profile, so I'll get all of those credits back. I'll unassign that access code. Epic is going to spin for just a second, and then it's going to reload those credits into my account. And I can go back, I can return to the search criteria. Maybe I got a little specific in here, or if I just wanted to grab additional pending reports, I can do that. So we'll notice that the batch report bar has showed up. This is going back just a little bit to that batch function that we just did. I have one batch report ready for download. This will come up for you every time Epic has created that batch report for you. So when I click on that download option, it does bring up that file name. It lets me know how big it is, what product I did it for, how many people, and when it expires. I'll go ahead and click on this, and then it will download to my computer. And then once I'm done, I can go ahead and click this X. If I don't click the X, it will just expire and go away, and then I'll have to recreate the batch if I didn't download it. But if I have downloaded it, saved it to my computer, I'll just go ahead and delete that batch report. And then you'll notice that that goes away up here. If you do not delete the batch report, that blue bar will stay up there the whole time. Back under that manage your account drop down, there's the folder maintenance. The folders are what you do inside your admin account. So they're different than the organizations. This is how you organize your admin account. If you forget to put people in a folder, it's not a big deal. There is a section that will appear here that'll tell you or ask you if you want to sort your unfiled reports. You can do that. You can transfer contents. You can move people around. You can do whatever it is you need to do, create new folders. It's super helpful to be able to have those folders as you're growing in your account. But again, these are optional. You don't have to do that. Under that manage your account drop down, there is also the manage my organizations. Now, we talked about how it's similar to the edit organizations. This will allow you to create organizations in kind of on a rapid fire, so that way that they're ready for you. If you did end up opting to do those maybe by location or by department, you can do that in this manage your account, manage my organizations. You just create a new organization, name, city, logo, and then save. And then they'll all be inside here. And you can also add in departments. So this is a really nice feature, because when your participants click in to complete their profiles, they get to select what department they're a part of. You can pre-designate those, because some people might classify themselves in human resources and some people might classify themselves in HR. While they're all in the same group or department, they will show up separately in the sorting feature inside Catalyst platform. So up to you if you want to take advantage of that, kind of pre-designate what those department names are in hopes to kind of cut down on that. You can do that under this manage your account, manage my organizations. The next spot is going to be if you wanted to add additional administrators. This is people who will be able to come in and see everything that's going on inside your admin account. So inside this platform, who's gotten a code, what their profile looks like. They are able to send out access codes. They are able to utilize those credits with group reports and stuff like that. Completely up to you. It is kind of a nice feature to have an additional administrator. Somebody, if maybe you go on vacation or something happens and you're unable to be online and in your admin account, it's nice to have that backup. You do get to give them a username, so you would just type in their name, enter in whatever username makes sense for you guys, enter in their email, and then their user level. A super administrator can do everything that you can do, meaning that they can add administrators, take administrators away, send out codes, create group reports, all of that stuff. If it's just going to be kind of a temporary thing, maybe it's a manager who just wants to see completed reports without you having to send those to them, you can create them as an administrator. They will still be able to send out codes. They'll be able to view profiles, create group reports, all of that stuff. You can't really limit where they can go, but you can make it so that they can't pull anybody as an administrator from the admin account, and they can't make any edits to the personal options page, which is the next one that we'll go through. So if it's going to be kind of a temporary thing, it might make a little bit more sense to set them up as an administrator versus a super admin. And then when you're done and you're ready, if we had more than one admin in here, there would be an X button right here, where as a super administrator, if I wanted to pull somebody's administrative access, I could do that. I just delete that user. Once you're done with this piece here, the new admin will get an email with a link in it to create their own password, so you won't know that. They will be able to use their username and the password that they create to go ahead and log into the account and then have access to that. And then the last section under the manager account is going to be these activity reports. So there's a couple different things in here. You can see unassigned access codes that, if you want kind of a tally on how many codes were unassigned, how many credits came back into your account, you can look at that. There's profile completion, both in detail and just a summary option. It's nice like I said, at the end of the year to kind of get an idea on a large scale on who you sent codes to. You do have that option to run those both in PDF and Excel if you do want it to be a file that is something you can maneuver. And then if you do have any pending credits, it's nice to be able to see those in case you wanted to go in and unassign those codes and pull all of that back. And then a lot of times people will look for that credit activity to kind of figure out maybe you need to do some different allocations for billing or something like that. So you can take a look at a credit activity report as well. The personal options drop down, this is going to be where you're going to edit any account information or personal settings. This is also going to be where you're going to create those templates that we used in the very first drop down when we sent out those access codes. So I'll show you kind of how to do that. You can also view some sample reports. It's going to be this third drop down option here. We are going to start under that view/edit account information. This page may look very, very familiar to a fair amount of you because this is where you're going to start. It is going to ask you to review the information. It's just asking you to take a look at the required fields, make sure that everything is entered in there as it should be. And any information that's going to be here is going to be what appears on the cover of the profile. So if we put something here that you don't like or you want to change something, feel free to do that. These are suggestions. You do not have to abide by these pieces over here. And you do have 7 lines, these 2 being the absolute required ones, and then whatever else you want to put in here. Your account ID is here. This is something that probably was also emailed to you when you got your login information, but the account ID is something that's super helpful for us on discprofile.com side when we're transferring credits or we're trying to look anything up regarding your account. Maybe you're trying to have us help you with something. Knowing your account ID, having that somewhere in your stored files is going to be super helpful. But if you're inside your account and you just need to look that up, personal options, view/edit account information, that's going to be in here. And then again, you got to put in that company name. If you do want to put in a logo or change the logo, maybe we grabbed the wrong one from Google, you can do that. You can upload or delete a logo and change that. You do have to put in an administrator name. This is what's going to appear in those emails, letting you know who that admin is. If it's going to be you or a company, that's up to you guys, however you want to put that up. And then this email display section. So this might be something, if you are not following along and you want to just write something down, this is going to be the piece that you'll send to your IT department. No reply at wiley-epic.com is the emails that these links come from. So if you don't want them to go into junk or spam, grab this email, send it over to your IT department, have them whitelist that email. Everybody tightened up on the security, and so it might make it a little bit easier on everybody if that email just gets whitelisted. Going down, this is the email system notifications, that batch report. So if I had people in here who maybe just needed to know when people are completed or when batch reports are done or stuff like that, but they don't need to be an administrator, you can put different email addresses in here, and then you can set whatever one you want to be the primary. Any email in here is going to get notifications, whether it be when somebody completes, your account's running low on credits, batch reports are done, all of that type of stuff. Those notifications get sent to those emails. A credit reminder does not mean that your account is under any sort of issue. It just means that you're going to get an email reminder when your credit balance drops below 50. It may appear red up here at the top. That's not cause for concern. That's just letting you know that you are getting a little low in case you're getting ready to do a big project. You do need to have credits in your account before you go ahead and send out access codes. So just a little bit of a reminder. And like I said, anybody on this list is going to get that notification. And then once you have everything the way that you'll like it, you'll go ahead and hit save. If you did make any changes to this page, you are able to come in and edit most of this stuff. The custom messages, so personal options, manage custom messages. This is where you can create those templates and then you can edit them in that process of sending out those access codes. So if I wanted to create a new message folder, I could do that. If I just wanted to add a new message to my existing folder, I can do that as well. It does allow you access into those system variables, so I can have that auto-filled in here. I can take advantage of that if I wanted to do some information. As long as I don't adjust anything on the inside of those brackets, Epic will auto-fill that information for me. And then I can type whatever information I need in here, and then as you saw before, you are able to adjust that. So maybe if it's not a Tuesday meeting, it's a Wednesday meeting or something like that. You can adjust that, but using templates help you make sure that you're saying similar information to your full team. And that way that there's no cause for confusion. You know what you've said to them. You know the instructions that you've given them, rather than trying to create that information on the fly. It helps you. Epic does not save the email that you are trying to attached to the link if you don't use a template. So it's nice to have that option for you. And then the last area in here is those sample reports, that if you did want to create a sample report, maybe you want to see what a group culture report looks like before you spend the 25 credits to do it. You can personal options, create sample reports, select your product, and then click next. And then you do get an opportunity to select what you want, the report, the poster, both. And then you get a chance to view, save, or email. And it comes with your contact information on the cover. So you're able to kind of see what that looks like. It is a sample group, but you do get an idea of what's going on in that report. And you can do that with any of the reports that you have access to. So if I wanted to see a comparison report or a team view, I could do that as well. And it doesn't cost you any credits to do your sample reports. The last area inside Epic is going to be the help section. So inside Epic, it does have some videos. It's going to go over a lot of the information that we went over today. It's going to talk about how to send out codes, how to do batch reports and group reports and view those completed reports. That stuff is done by the publishing company. There is also some technical documents in there if you wanted to know more about the privacy or anything like that. That's available for you as well. And then we also have some information on discprofile.com, and that is going to help you manage assessments. There's a full Epic administrative guide, and then there's some that are specific to Catalyst, and so we can take a look at that as well. So just for visual representation, inside Epic, it's going to be that help drop down, and then there's help videos. It does bring up a pop-up, and then you can do some assigning a Catalyst code, adding additional applications. A lot of this stuff is stuff that we went over today, and different videos inside of here. And then if I were to go over to discprofile.com and I click on this help section up here in the top right above our search bar, it's going to bring up my managing assessments, Epic administrative guide, the Catalyst help, and I can click into these. Again, a lot of the information that we went over today is going to be in here, but these are text step-by-step instructions. You're able to better understand that. Epic administrative account, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. But if I really wanted specific stuff for Catalyst, I could do that. So common tasks in Epic, assigning a code, adding or editing organizations. And then there's some different email templates if I wanted to take advantage of those when I set up my templates inside Epic as well. We also on discprofile.com have a really nice facilitation support section that's going to help you with both Catalyst and traditional profile support. It does have sample reports. Maybe you don't have access to all of the profiles that you want. And so you can see what those profiles look like and reach out to us and we can add them into your admin account. It does have different activities and research. We have posters and slide decks. If you don't have a facilitation kit, this is a nice place to go to. We also have some tips on getting started, some FAQs, some clarifying disc concepts, our facilitation support section is going to be one of the drop-down options on discprofile.com. And then you can either go directly into the tools or the tips, or you can just start out in that facilitation support section. And then the last area that I will talk to you about on discprofile.com is purchasing. So because you do have an Epic administrative account, you purchase Epic credits. Don't buy profiles. If you buy profiles, they will not be connected to your admin account. When you click on that big purple button at the beginning that we talked about, purchase Epic credits, or you get on discprofile.com and you come to purchase and you go to Epic credits, you're going to look at a page that's similar to this. It's going to have buy Epic credits. Again, not profiles. We're buying credits. And we're going to come in here. If I ever needed a refresher on how many credits it costs per profile, I can do that. There's the traditional profiles up here, and then profiles on Catalyst Workplaces, 15 credits. Agile EQ and Management, to add those additional applications, is going to be 10 credits each. There are some different price breaks over here if I wanted to take advantage of those as well. And, 17 profiles for Catalyst is going to be about 250 credits. It's going to get you into that first price break. If I did want to take advantage of that, I could do that. We do also have the 5 behaviors. That's just kind of another product that we have on our site as well. So you'll see some different options in here. Just make sure that when you're doing the math to figure out how many credits you need per profile, you're pulling from the correct spot. You'll notice that Management and Agile EQ up here in the traditional world are going to be 25 credits a piece. You might be purchasing a little bit extra if you go off of those numbers. And then when you're ready, you'll go ahead and just add in the quantity of credits needed to your cart. If you do have a need to purchase in CAD, you just click on this logo up, this flag up here in the top right, and it will change everything over into CAD for you. It does also change these tables as well. Staying connected with discprofile.com, there's a few different ways that you can do that. So we do have a YouTube that is going to have some instructional videos, some informational videos that we're kind of pushing out. You are able to connect with other practitioners on our Facebook. It's a nice way because we are not full facilitators on our side, on the discprofile.com side. We've kind of created a little bit of a community where you can connect with other people who are, maybe bounce some ideas off of them, talk to them, do a little bit of networking with other practitioners. Our LinkedIn is similar concept on that as well. We do have a learning hub where there's some different use cases with DISC. Maybe it's not necessarily just the traditional team building area. There's some really nice information on the learning hub. It does talk about both traditional and Catalyst information. We do have some 5 behavior stuff on there. We have some information about our hiring assessment as well. So take a look at that learning hub. And then we do have a wonderful newsletter that goes out once a month. You can sign up for that on discprofile.com if you have not already. And again, that is going to cover information on all of the products, whether that's traditional or Catalyst. For the Everything Disc product, it's going to talk about 5 behaviors, and then there's some trickled in information about our hiring assessment as well. I would like to thank you for taking the time and hanging out with me today. I know I put a lot of information in this video, so hopefully you're able to kind of go back and look at the information that's needed. Our email is going to be on the screen for both US and Canada. We have a phone number for both US and Canada as well. And then on behalf of the entire discprofile.com team, I just want to give you a really big thank you and let you know that we are happy to help you in any way that you need that's on the DISC or the Epic side.